So folks, welcome back. Kindly let us know the quality of the audio. As you can see, the courtroom is being filled to capacity. You saw people running, trying to make their way in. The jury, we've been told, has returned from their deliberation room. And we heard on the PA system in the court, the clerk there telling folks to have their seats. So it is going to the pivotal moment now. Kindly let us know the quality of the audio by just leaving a comment. Let us know the quality of the audio. But final arguments were done with 1 hour 30 minutes allotted to the prosecution, 1 hour 30 minutes allotted to the defense. You can see those returning are the unlucky ones who did not rush in early to have a seat. So the courtroom, as you listen to since this morning, has been packed to capacity. The police is still present here. The sirens, the flashing lights of the beast, the famous police vehicle that I always say reminds me of the iconic African movie Sarafina, is packed outside there with the flashing lights blinking red and blue. The police contingent present, supporters scattered all around the courtroom, courtyard, but all of the action is happening in Criminal Court C, being presided over by Judge Usman Fakai. The fate of Samuel D. Tweah and other co-defendants hangs in the balance as we speak. Liberians home and abroad are equally vested in what is going to transpire in there. The jury retired for over 2 hours. The time here is 3 minutes to 6 p.m. May the 8th, 2026. Folks are still being fixed. Others are being sent back. The only message that you get is no space, no space, and no space. This reminds me of the National County Sports Meet, especially during the finals when people trip in to the Samuel Kando Sports Stadium and all the year is no space. We see Councillor Arthur Johnson, the lead defense attorney, is making his way. Feel confident, Councillor Johnson, do you? Do you feel confident, sir, of the verdict? Arthur Johnson has been mute, saying no comment. The defendants in this case are Samuel D. Tweah, former Minister of Finance and Development Planning; Stanley Ford, former Director of the Financial Intelligence Agency; Jefferson Kamoa, former National Security Advisor; Yanti Tuan, former Acting Justice Minister and one-time Solicitor General; D. Moses Cooper, FIA Controller. They are charged on the following counts. For Samuel Tweah, the former finance minister, charged with a lot of charges. He's got five of the counts against him. The rest of the co-defendants have 4 counts against them. So I can hear the gavel being hit. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the defining moment. Our courtroom correspondent is seated. What will be the verdict of the jury? Guilty on all counts, guilty on some counts, or acquitted on all counts? The courtroom is deafening silence. Judge Usman Fakai has maintained a strong grip on discipline and courtroom ethics. This morning, a fellow Weazon Davis was whisked out of the court, charged on what is known as contempt of court, and committed to 30 days behind bars. So the defense rested in their argument. Their argument was the co-defendants should not be found guilty, that the jurors will be protecting the democracy of Liberia, that the state did not produce any piece of tangible evidence whatsoever, that the state did not show any sort of personal enrichment, that the state did not show any sort of CCTV footage, the state did not show who were the individuals who got the money, the state knows who received the funds, and those funds were disbursed to national security purposes, according to the defense lawyer, Councillor Arthur Johnson. 2023, there were credible emergencies that needed funding. According to Arthur Johnson, Samuel Tweah, the former finance minister, acted within his powers according to the PFM law of Liberia. But this is a historic case because this is the first time the National Security Reform and Intelligence Act is being used in a corruption case in Liberia. This is the first time a finance minister, a former finance minister, is being tried for internal transfers of funds in Liberia. This is the first corruption case that the Supreme Court had to intervene in the midway of this trial. Remember when the co-defendants used the immunity clause, that they were covered by presidential immunity, the Supreme Court intervened in that prohibition and sent the case back to Criminal Court C for jurisdiction. Criminal Court C then resumed jurisdiction over this matter. We will be bringing you all of what is happening. This is the D-Day. The media are present. This case has got both local and international implications. And the question is, will these defendants be acquitted or convicted? The jury has returned. The whispers undertone, the gavel hit. You can hear the sound. The gavel has been hit. We are waiting for updates. What would be the verdict? Guilty or not guilty? For the charge of economic sabotage under our penal law is 15.80, punishable by up to 10 years imprisonment, fines, restitution of amount misapplied. Economic sabotage includes misuse of public funds, unauthorized expenditure, and illegal transfers. Theft or misapplication of entrusted property, penal law 15.51, 15.56, if convicted, up to 10 years imprisonment, mandatory restitution, even if no personal benefit is proven. Misapplication of public funds is still a crime. Money laundering, Anti-Money Laundering Act, if the prosecution proves that the funds were moved to conceal their purpose, penalties include up to 20 years imprisonment, asset forfeiture, and heavy fines. For criminal conspiracy, penal law 10.4, punishable by up to 5 years imprisonment or the same penalty as the underlying offense. So the jury must look at standard of proof. The prosecution must have proven beyond every element that each charge is convictable beyond a reasonable doubt. For conviction, the jury must return with majority of the votes. 9-3 is a conviction. Anything less than that, 7-5, 6-6, be a hung jury. So we are awaiting what the foreman of the jury will say. The judge is asking the sheriff to question the jury foreman whether they have returned with a verdict. A verdict is what Liberians are waiting to hear. We will be bringing you updates from within the court. Ladies and gentlemen, these are not play charges. The government of Liberia have said they are going to win this case. The defense have said the government has what is known as a paper or a cartoon case. The jurors have returned from the room of deliberation. We can tell you that for sure. The jurors would have looked at evidences produced, eyewitnesses' testimonies, arguments from both prosecution and defense. So their verdict has been presented to the judge. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a historic landmark case. This is a precedent case. These 5 defendants are going to learn their fate. Acquitted on all charges, guilty on all charges, or guilty some charges. We will bring you all of what is happening. So what you need to know, folks, is that these defendants, the jury have said they have arrived at a verdict. The jury has informed the judge that they have arrived at a verdict. That is the breaking news as we speak. The jury has informed Judge Usman Fakai that they have arrived or they have reached a verdict. Time here is 6 minutes after 6. Let us know the quality of the audio. Please do that as we await what the verdict will be. This case has lingered on for 4 months, 1 week. So folks, the jury informing Judge Usman Fakai that they've reached a verdict. That verdict is what we're waiting to hear. The judge has asked them if the verdict contained is actually their verdict, to make sure that this comes from the deliberation room. So the judge is asking them whether this verdict is their verdict. We will give you what the response is. 11 a.m. these final arguments began. At about 3 p.m. thereabout, the judge gave the jurors their charge. They returned about 7 minutes ago. We are waiting for updates. Radios all across the country carry this live broadcast. Phone screens and television screens in and out of Liberia carrying this particular broadcast. This is a defining day. This is Friday the 8th. Not Friday the 13th, but Friday the 8th. Keep letting us know the quality of the audio. I know you don't want to miss anything. The penalties are hefty. 10 to 20 years on different counts. Restitution, mandatory restitution, fines on different counts. The defense asked the jurors to acquit on all charges, stating that the government had no concrete evidence. The government couldn't point to anywhere that the money went to. The government couldn't produce a piece of footage, anything whatsoever. The government couldn't establish personal enrichment whatsoever. The prosecution said, jail them, find them guilty on all charges. Hand down a guilty verdict on all charges, because $6.2 million could have bought a lot of DNA machines. $6.2 million could have helped to improve the healthcare system in the country. They showed no individual who benefited from the money whatsoever. If they acted on presidential orders, as they stated, presidential orders according to the Supreme Court, when they are bad, you have the right to resign and not carry out those orders. Both sides of the divide, hearts are pounding, ears are itching to hear. The deafening quiet in the courtroom speaks to the intensity in the air. Samuel Tweah, Councillor Yanti Tweah, Stanley Ford, and the rest. Their fate hangs in the balance. Jefferson Kamore and the rest. Moses Cooper making up 5. So the judge is, we've been informed that the judge is working on something on the records. So after which the clerk then will hear from the jury if they agree to the verdict. So Judge Usman Fakai is said to be writing something in the records of the court. He's working on something in the records of the court, and after which the clerk will hear from the jury if they all agreed to the verdict. So folks, the gavel again has been hit. We are waiting for more updates. I can hear the sound from as far as I am. That tells you the courtroom is really quiet. The sun is setting on Capitol Hill. It's the sun setting on Samuel Tweah and the rest legal battles. It's the sun setting on this very, very landmark corruption case in Liberia. Supporters of Mr. Tweah and the rest are scattered all about. We are waiting for more updates from the court, but the key question here is guilty or not guilty. The jury has said they have arrived at guilty or not guilty. That is the question. Let's see if we can get more updates. The courtroom is packed to capacity. Very, very packed to capacity. The LNP making sure the immediate area leading to the entry of the courtroom is well protected. There we see 106 following his boss, 102, making his way back into the courtroom. So they are reading the verdict, folks. The verdict is being read. The verdict is being read. These are separate charges. These are separate charges. So there will be separate verdicts for each. Folks, we can hear the reading ongoing. So what we can tell you is the jury has reached a verdict. That's a fact. The jury again were asked whether the verdict is that verdict, and they said yes in the affirmative. So now the verdict is being read, and we're trying to get for you who's reading the verdict. So hold on for a minute as we try to give you that information. Information is filtering in. This is a fluid situation as we speak. Hearts in mouth moment. The assistant clerk of Criminal Code C is reading the verdict in there. So the jury presenting their verdict to the court. The assistant clerk of court here at Criminal Code C is the one reading the verdict. Years are sharpened there in Criminal Code C. Hearts are pounding. This is a landmark case. This is a precedent case. 6.2 million United States dollars if we do all of the conversion in United States dollars, in how the transfers were made, 1.05 billion Liberian dollars and 500,000 United States dollars. Those are the figures of concern. 1.05 billion Liberian dollars and 500,000
You got it there. One of.
So, folks, let us know the quality of the audio, please. So, what we can tell you, the breaking news is former acting justice minister, former solicitor general of the Republic of Liberia, Councillor Yanti Tweah, has been found guilty by the entire jury for theft of property. We are waiting on the next update. So, if you're watching us, let us know the quality of the audio. Please let us know the quality of the audio. So once the audio is good, please let us. Testing 2. All right, folks, let us know the quality of the audio. We apologize for that. We are trying to bring you more updates. So please let us know the quality of the audio by just leaving a comment. If the audio is good, just let us know. We apologize for that. That is due to some technical issues, but we do apologize for that. So the breaking news is Councillor Yanti Tweah, the former acting Minister of Justice, the man who wrote the letter, asking for the FIA's account to be used for this transfer. Councillor Yanti Tweah has been found guilty by the whole jury for theft of property. So theft of property, Councillor Yanti Twine has been found guilty. So we're waiting for the next update. We are waiting for the next update. So let us know the quality of the audio. Please do that. Just keep letting us know the quality of the audio. Thank you for your comments. We are awaiting next update from the courtroom. So the verdict is being read by the assistant clerk of court. The jury returned with their verdict. You can hear the gavel being hit again. Keep following this live podcast as we try to do our best. We are not allowed inside the courtroom, that's for sure. But what we can do is we can bring you live updates from within the courtroom, the jury returning with their verdicts, and we will bring you real-time updates. So the verdict is still being read in Criminal Court C, presided over by Judge Usman Fakai. Councillor Yanti Twine, former acting Minister of Justice, former Solicitor General, Republic of Liberia, has been found guilty by the whole jury for the offense of theft of property. Updates are coming in slow. We have to bring you the information, even though we want to break the news to you in real time, but we have to make sure we give you the proper information. So bear with us, keep sharing the live. We're not going anywhere. We will remain right here. The officers of the Liberia National Police present here. They forming their shield wall, and they position right before the entrance of the court, and there is another contingent just on my right. So what we've been informed of is they are mentioning the names of the defendants one at a time. So for theft of property, Councillor Yanti Twine has been found guilty by the jury. So Stanley Ford, they are currently now on Stanley Ford. The last person is bringing update. Stanley Ford has been found guilty of theft of property as well. The former head of the Financial Intelligence Agency, Stanley Ford, has been found guilty by the jury. 2 down, 3 to go on the charge of theft of property.
Already known. 3 to go. 5 of them, 2 persons have been found guilty. Please watch and share the live.
This is another breaking news. Stanley Ford has been found guilty of theft of property.
Head of Financial Intelligence Unit. He has been found guilty. So among 5
theft of property
defendants
under the penal law is 15.51, 15.56, theft of property or misapplication of property, penal law Liberia, 15.51 and 15.56. So Stanley Ford has been found guilty for theft of property. The former head of the Financial Intelligence Agency, Stanley Ford, has been found guilty. Okay, you keep playing with it. So please let us know the quality of the sound. So they are now on Jefferson Camo, National Security Advisor to President Tweah. Jefferson Camo for theft of property. They are now on Jefferson Camo. So keep letting us know the quality of the audio. So once the sound is good, let us know the quality of the audio. So Jefferson Camo, the former National Security Advisor to former President Tweah, what is going to be the verdict? Tweah, former Solicitor General and Acting Justice Minister, guilty for theft of property. Economic sabotage is the first, and Jefferson Camo was not found guilty. Not guilty, Jefferson Camo. Economic sabotage, not guilty. So Jefferson Camo is not guilty on the count of economic sabotage. So Jefferson Camo has been found not guilty on the count of economic sabotage. So the first not guilty verdict, Jefferson Camo, former National Security Advisor to President Tweah, has been found not guilty. So if you're hearing us, let us know the quality. What we can do is we can do our best to bring you updates and work on the sound. So Jefferson Camo, the former National Security Advisor to President Tweah, has been found not guilty on the charge of economic sabotage. So we move to the next. Jefferson Camo again has been found not guilty for theft of property. Two not guilty. So the former National Security Advisor, Jefferson Camo, has been found not guilty for economic sabotage and not guilty theft of property. Two down for Jefferson Camo. He had 4 charges. So 2 down, 2 to go. So we will be bringing you all of the updates. So Jefferson Camo is feeling some sort of cool air touching him right now. 2 down, 2 to go. Economic sabotage, Jefferson Camo, not guilty. Theft of property, Jefferson Camo, not guilty. Theft of property, Tweah, guilty. Theft of property, Stanley Ford, guilty. So we move to the next. Remember, Jefferson Camo testified and said, you know, the FIA wasn't admitted to the National Security Council because they needed an approval and he didn't provide. Money laundering, Jefferson Camo, not guilty again. So 3 down for Jefferson Camo. Money laundering, the former National Security Advisor, Jefferson Camo, found not guilty by the jury. Let's see the next one. So he has been found not guilty, theft of property, not guilty, economic sabotage, not guilty, money laundering. 3 down for him. We are waiting for the 4th count, Jefferson Camo. So we are waiting for the 4th charge, Jefferson Camo. So Jefferson Camo, when he spoke, said made a lot of revelations. So 3 charges, criminal facilitation, he was found guilty. So guilty, Jefferson Camo, criminal facilitation, but not guilty on money laundering, not guilty on economic sabotage, and not guilty theft of property. So criminal facilitation, Jefferson Camo has been found guilty. So the former National Security Advisor, Jefferson Camo, 3 counts not guilty, 1 count guilty. The 3 counts, economic sabotage, not guilty. Money laundering, not guilty. Theft of property, not guilty. Criminal facilitation, guilty. So 1 guilty verdict for Jefferson Camo, 3 not guilty. So in his testimony, he said a lot, Jefferson Camo. One who said his testimony was pivotal to all of this. So he has only been found guilty for criminal facilitation and criminal conspiracy. So guilty criminal facilitation, guilty criminal conspiracy, Jefferson Camo. So the jurors have said Jefferson Camo facilitated and conspired with the other co-defendants, but did not commit economic sabotage, did not commit theft of property, and also did not commit money laundering. So in essence, they're saying Jefferson Camo knew of the plot, he conspired with them, but he didn't commit economic sabotage, he didn't steal the funds, so he didn't commit theft of property, and he didn't commit money laundering. So we move to Moses Cooper, the former controller at the FIA. Moses Cooper is now going to hear his fate. Moses Cooper will now hear his fate. So we are waiting for what would the verdicts be for Moses Cooper, the former controller at the Financial Intelligence Agency. It is alleged by the prosecution that Moses Cooper single-handedly withdrew $500,000 United States dollars. What will be his verdict? Mr. Cooper is listening attentively. His family and friends, supporters likewise are listening attentively. Liberians home and abroad, I'm hearing the gavel being hit. Moses Cooper is not guilty for economic sabotage. Unanimously not guilty for economic sabotage, the former controller of the FIA. So he's not guilty. Unanimously, economic sabotage for Moses Cooper, not guilty. So we are waiting for the next counts. So Moses Cooper unanimously found not guilty by the jurors. Second count, we are waiting for. So folks, wherever it is you're watching us from, this is Spoon TV. My name is Diamond Slanger. It's the 8th day of May 2026. The heat from the sun this morning and afternoon is finally going away. We can feel some sort of cool breeze. But in that courtroom, I can tell you it is not cozy at all. It is not cold, it's hot. Theft of property, Moses Cooper, not guilty. So 2 counts, not guilty for Moses Cooper, the former controller of the FIA. 2 counts, Moses Cooper, not guilty. Economic sabotage, not guilty. Theft of property, not guilty. We are awaiting the next counts. Hearts are beating, folks. Verdict is in. This is the defining moment. But remember, these defendants have got the remedy of an appeal to the Supreme Court available to them. That is, if they accept this judgment and file an appeal, an exception, they can go to the Supreme Court of Liberia and file an appeal. An appeal option is not available to the prosecution. It is believed that the state has got all of the resources and the state should be able to convict and render down a verdict from the jury beyond reasonable doubt. So the state doesn't have that luxury of running to the Supreme Court to perfect an appeal. No. That is why the state has got all of the resources to prosecute a case beyond all reasonable doubt. Money laundering, Moses Cooper again, not guilty. 3 down for Moses. He must be dreaming of the promised land as we speak. Moses Cooper, not guilty, economic sabotage. Moses Cooper, not guilty, theft of property. Moses Cooper, not guilty, money laundering. Criminal facilitation and criminal conspiracy remaining. The former controller there at the Financial Intelligence Agency. Money laundering, not guilty. Economic sabotage, not guilty. Theft of property, not guilty. The updates are filtering in, and once we get them, we will update you immediately. Criminal facilitation, again, he is found not guilty. So Moses Cooper is deemed to not have conspired or facilitated this. So 4 for Moses Cooper. So far, only he get 4 green pass mark on a report card. Moses Cooper found not guilty for criminal facilitation. 1 more count for Moses Cooper. Is he going to come out all green? He must be thanking his God as he speaks now. He must be praying and holding on to everything constant, and he holds holy. Moses Cooper has got 1 more count to go. Criminal facilitation, not guilty. Money laundering, not guilty. Theft of property, not guilty. Economic sabotage, not guilty. Criminal conspiracy, that is the next. If he didn't facilitate, how then did he conspire? The question remains. Moses Cooper, ladies and gentlemen, has been found not guilty on all 5 counts. Criminal conspiracy, he again was found not guilty. So Moses Cooper has been acquitted. He will walk out of this courtroom walls a free man. Moses Cooper might most likely drop to his knees and thank his God. He's been found not guilty on all 5 counts. Not guilty. Now is the defining moments, lady. Former Finance Minister Samuel D. Tweah. Former Finance Minister Samuel D. Tweah. So Moses Cooper, the former controller, will walk out. I'm sure he will be in service on Sunday. If they have a service tonight, he might probably attend throughout the course of the week. Not guilty on all 5 counts. Samuel Tweah. Ladies and gentlemen, former Minister of Finance and Development Planning. Gbegbe Dio is next. Of all these co-defendants, he is the biggest of all fish. He is the primary defendant. In fact, in newsmaking, we use the name of the most prominent person. Hence, Samuel Tweah's name has always been in the headlines. What are his verdicts? Samuel D. Tweah celebrated his birthday a couple of days ago. Is he gonna get an early birthday present from, or a late, should I say, birthday present from the jurors? Samuel Tweah is next. Moses Cooper acquitted on all charges, all counts, found not guilty. In this grand scheme of conspiracy, according to the state, the jurors have found that Moses Cooper played no role whatsoever and cannot be held liable. Samuel Tweah. As hailed by many as the most prolific finance minister ever, his supporters have said, Samuel Tweah, economic sabotage, not guilty. Samuel Tweah, economic sabotage, not guilty. So first, not guilty for Samuel Tweah. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the breaking news. Economic sabotage, former finance minister Samuel Tweah, not guilty. He is clear of this offense. 1 down, 4 to go for Samuel Tweah. Cleared of economic sabotage, Samuel Tweah. That blue business suit might have relieved him of some cool air right now. Samuel Tweah is not guilty, economic sabotage. We're waiting for the next. Is he going to make all 5 like Moses Cooper? Theft of property, Samuel Tweah, not guilty. 2 down. Theft of property, Samuel Tweah, found not guilty. 2 down, 3 to go. Samuel Tweah is slowly eating down the list of charges. First, economic sabotage, not guilty. Theft of property, Samuel Tweah, not guilty. The state is in the room. The state is listening. The state said they had a slam dunk case. Seems like the state missed the ring on these charges. So far, economic sabotage, not guilty. Theft of property, not guilty. We are watching, folks. We are listening. Theft of property, Samuel D. Tweah, not guilty. Economic sabotage, Samuel D. Tweah, not guilty. Money laundering, Samuel Tweah, not guilty. 3 down for Samuel Tweah. You can hear the jeering in the background. His supporters are listening. Money laundering, Samuel Tweah, not guilty. Two to go for Samuel Tweah. Criminal conspiracy, criminal facilitation. Samuel D. Tweah, the prime defendant in this case. Cleared of money laundering, cleared of theft of property, cleared of economic sabotage. What is going through the mind of the prosecution as we speak? The Solicitor General said it was a slam dunk case. The jury seemed not to have agreed. The next, we're waiting to see. I can hear some murmuring in the court. Is it murmuring of disapproval of the next charge? Money laundering, not guilty. Theft of property, not guilty. Economic sabotage, not guilty. 3 down, 2 to go. criminal facilitation, not guilty. Samuel D. Tweah, criminal facilitation, not guilty. Only criminal conspiracy. If he didn't facilitate, how then did he conspire? If he's not guilty of criminal facilitation, the likelihood of being convicted for criminal conspiracy is far, 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 far below. So Samuel Tweah has been cleared of 4 counts. 4 down, Samuel Tweah. One more. So if you're just joining us, the former finance minister Samuel Tweah has been cleared of economic sabotage, theft of property, not guilty, money laundering, not guilty, criminal facilitation, not guilty. And the last is criminal conspiracy. Samuel D. Tweah. I know he's loosening his tie knot as we speak, because criminal conspiracy is all that is. There you see them coming out. There you see support of the Samuel Tweah coming out. The courtroom has erupted. Samuel Tweah. Criminal conspiracy. Samuel Tweah not guilty of all 5 charges. Samuel Tweah has been found not guilty.
Well, folks, keep in there. Now it's over for Samuel Tweah. He's found not guilty of all of the charges leveled against him. That's it.
Yeah, Samuel Tweah has been found not guilty on all counts. Ladies and gentlemen, Samuel Tweah and Moses Cooper found not guilty on all of these charges. So we'll be waiting to speak to Mr. Tweah. So it is jubilation here. It is total jubilation. Samuel D. Tweah has walked a free man. What is this? The tally from the jury? Okay. The 5 charges?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Not guilty. Not guilty. Then 3 years for guilty. So all the 3 years are guilty.
So he had 9 not guilty for the first charge, 9 for the second, 9 for the third, 9 for the fourth, and 9 for the fifth.
No. Yeah, no.
Okay. So were you part of the process?
Since 9 o'clock there.
So how did you get this tally?
Because I was checking it.
You're checking in the court?
Yes.
Are you a relative to any of these 4 defendants?
Samuel Tweah Jr. It's my uncle.
It's your uncle. And how do you feel today? He's found not guilty. All charges.
No, I believe my God. Since last time I carried. So I know where my God can do. I just need to tell God thank you.
So do you believe in the court process?
With this one, do you believe that the court is transparent?
Do you believe in the
I
court
believe in
process?
the Almighty.
Do you believe that the court here is transparent?
Do you believe that everything here that was done fairly?
So you can Samuel Tweah. Samuel Tweah has been found not guilty on all counts. The former finance minister is going to walk out of that courtroom a free man. He has been found not guilty on all of the charges, all of the counts. Criminal conspiracy, not guilty. Economic sabotage, not guilty. Criminal facilitation, not guilty. Theft of property, not guilty. Samuel Tweah, as well as Moses Cooper, found not guilty on all of those counts.
You are better man, you know more part of Liberia. If you are pastor man, you know more part of Liberia. You have to be a man before you be part of Liberia. But today, this Saturday have been said, my Samuel G. told today, they will home California tomorrow. They will home other ministers and cabinet ministers that are in power tomorrow. It's a good precedent, man. It's a good precedent day. For many reasons, they were good for them to go through the local procedure that they can be vindicated.
And that means you trust the rule of law in this country.
For me, I trust the wisdom of the judiciary. If the president is not involved, but when the president is involved, the judge can be temporal. But this is what the brother keep on the juror. And the juror, they have their own wisdom. Whether he use them with money, they will think what I mean. Tomorrow they get tomorrow's feature day in the children. But they will not mind for anybody to induce them with money, to surrender justice to them.
Thank you.
That's it.
Thank you.
So folks, there you have it. Supporters of Samuel Tweah jubilating that he has been found not guilty on all of the counts. They're still in the courtroom. It is 7 minutes to 7 p.m. here. Criminal Court C has been shut close because of the noise from the jubilation outside. You can see the police have made their barricade walls right here with their shields and batons, making sure that this doesn't go out, that people don't run into the courtroom. So the courtroom is a clear distance, and Samuel Tweah has been acquitted on all charges, all counts. Samuel Tweah. We are awaiting the former finance minister to come out. Arthur Johnson said, find them not guilty because the government couldn't prove a single thing. The government couldn't produce any evidence. The government couldn't say where were the money spent. The government couldn't say what benefits did the defendants accrue from those monies. The government could just not produce, according to Arthur Johnson, a shred of tangible evidence. According to Arthur Johnson, the current finance minister, Augustine Tweah, has spent about $6 million to intervene in the Guinea-Liberia border tensions. He also highlighted the corona incident that occurred in this country, the coronavirus pandemic, I should say, in this country, that monies were spent. He also said that in 2023, there were emergencies during elections time, and the government needed to have spent, and those monies were spent on credible and tangible threats. The state has lost. A mere theft of property, greater verdict against Tweah and others. I will read the verdict thus far. So let's go over the verdicts for the following individuals.
Stanley Ford was found guilty for theft of property, that is the former FIA boss. Jefferson Camo was not found guilty for economic sabotage. Jefferson Camo was not found guilty of theft of property. Money laundering, Jefferson Camo was not found guilty. Criminal facilitation, Jefferson Camo was found guilty. Moses Cooper, the former controller at the Financial Intelligence Agency, was found not guilty for economic sabotage, theft of property, not guilty, money laundering, not guilty, criminal facilitation, not guilty, criminal conspiracy, not guilty. Then we move to Samuel D. Tweah, the former finance minister, the lead defendant in this matter. Criminal conspiracy, not guilty. Economic sabotage, not guilty. Theft of property, not guilty. Criminal facilitation, not guilty. All 5 cleared of all. So legally, if I use the legal jargon, Samuel Tweah has been acquitted. These are all unfair reports. Unfair reports. Not guilty. Not guilty.
Like, you're not coming back now, or change it to another room, and to let go in that around. To what Mr. Baka will leave. So in the youth power, the temperature will be here. That's all now to forget. We'll not forget Mr. Baka. Mr. Baka is the biggest disaster happening to the country.
Yes, of course, we are still here on the grounds of the court of the criminal code C, where the lead defendant in this case has been acquitted. My name is Winston Kabadigan. I've been here since morning with the man Diamond Slanger, bringing real-time updates here at Criminal Code C. Right outside the fence is former special aide to former President George Weah, Sekou Carrasco Damero. He's here. He came in solidarity. He came in solidarity to Samuel D. Tweah.
When we know that this thing was not intended for Jefferson Camo, it was not intended for the FIA boss, it was intended for Samuel D. Tweah, who happens to be the Minister of Finance. It was D. Tweah that was lying upon that he put money in to save black people to go for the
We have from the beginning of the case, but most of that person government is set free. The person who the government has interest in going to jail is set free, not guilty of all 5 charges. Today, we will stand up and tell the Liberian people this is the reason we have to trust the justice system of our country. There's the only place where we can come and listen to people and thank to the jurors for being so independent in their work. And we must appreciate the judge and our justice system here today. If Samuel Tweah was going to be guilty today, they're going to send a negative space outside there because he was a person under the charge, discharging resources to tackle national security issues under the first-year government of President George Weah. As we see ourselves today, we are happy. We can depend now on our justice system. I hope that they will do it, and all of the time will be happy. Thanks to every one of us for your question.
Tell us, you're live on Spoon. Tell us the feelings. Tell us the feelings.
Thank you very much.
Is this another belated birthday celebration?
That's it. He's talking a shop. Happy belated birthday gift to him. They're coming loose. Samuel Tweah, you don't jump with Samuel Tweah. Samuel Tweah gets science and brief.
Tell us the excitement. How are you feeling?
You know how I'm feeling right now. I feel like I eat hammer. I will eat America. Because I want to say my tape on me today. I'm very fast. Just for the test nothing on the food. I pay my own way. Not my own way. My sanitary money brought me here.
Congratulations.
Get that?
Congratulations. From special aid to former President George Weah, Sekou Carrasco Damero is right outside the fence. He is here in solidarity with Samuel D. Tweah.
God is not making you.
So we remain live here still as we are waiting. Now acquitted Samuel Tweah, now acquitted Moses Cooper to exit the courtroom. We will bring you updated verdict of each. But what the breaking news here is that Samuel Tweah has been found not guilty on all counts, all charges. Samuel Tweah has been found not guilty. Economic sabotage, not guilty. Theft of property, not guilty. Money laundering, not guilty. Criminal conspiracy, not guilty. Criminal facilitation, not guilty. Solicitor General Augustine Fire was confident that he had this case as a slam dunk. According to him, the defendants had stated they received the money, and so they also said they expended the money. In his words, he saw this as a slam dunk case. Jefferson Camo found not guilty on the following counts. So Jefferson Camo was found not guilty for economic sabotage, not guilty theft of property, not guilty money laundering, criminal facilitation. He was found guilty. Criminal conspiracy. Jefferson Camo was found guilty. The former National Security Advisor to former President George Weah. The victorious lawyer in all of this is Arthur Johnson. Arthur Johnson single-handedly used the 1 hour 30 minutes allotted for his closing argument to admonish the jurors to find the co-defendants not guilty on all charges. If this was a boxing match, Arthur Johnson would have given the Solicitor General and his team bloody noses. If this was a boxing match, it would be technical knockout. The Solicitor General handling this case as the biggest thus far in the fight against corruption within the Bwaka administration has dropped the ball. Augustine Fire has lost this one mercilessly too. Arthur Johnson has written his name in the honors of judicial journals in Liberia. Arthur Johnson is going to walk out of the courtroom 25 feet taller. Augustine Fire will most likely bow his head in shame and walk out. What assurances did they have? What led to the belief of getting a guilty conviction? All of the talk is now over with. So this case is going to affect other cases going forward, corruption cases. this is going to be a precedent. Remember, the state cannot take an appeal. That remedy is not available to the prosecution. Samuel Tweah has gotten a late birthday present. He celebrated his birthday and now is going to celebrate his freedom. He was barred from leaving the country, barred from traveling out of the Republic of Liberia, was out of the country when the indictment was drawn, came into the country. There were lots of talks that the former immigration boss was dismissed, suspended, and subsequently let go of for not arresting Samuel Tweah. Those are speculative reasons. Samuel Tweah said he will go through this entire case and he stayed in the country. And today, you can hear his supporters are singing outside here of the courtyard. Samuel D. Tweah, the primary name in this case. Former finance minister to President George Weah. It's getting dark. We are waiting for them to exit the court. Once those giant doors open, you will see Minister Tweah and the rest exiting. They are going to come out, I'm sure, in a jubilant mood. Did the state get some convictions? Yes, they did. They got some guilty verdicts. But on account of all of what the state said, are those the convictions that the state was targeting? That question is for you to answer. In all of this, Samuel Tweah was the biggest of all fishes. He's been acquitted all counts. So the question is, yes, the state got some counts guilty verdict, but with all of the resources vested in this case, if you look at the number of not guilty verdicts as compared to the number of guilty verdicts, the individuals acquitted as well, did the state score a victory? The answer is a dismal no. So we are still awaiting them to come out because we know that the judge will show the verdict sheet to the jurors. Individually, they have to say yes, these were what they voted upon. So we have to remain posted, folks. Samuel Tweah braved the process. Moses Cooper braved the process. Jubilant supporters are outside celebrating. We will remain here as we have been since 8 a.m. this morning. It's 10 minutes past 7. The police still present here. We are looking to see if they're about to come out. The door is still locked. remember this morning when closing arguments began, the courtroom was so crowded that people were turned away. People were asked to leave because there was no space in the courtroom. Same happened when we got word that the jury had returned with their verdict. As you can see, that man is asked not to enter because the courtroom has been closed. The place is packed to capacity, but he doesn't care because he's a supporter of Samuel Tweah. He knows what the verdict is, the individual verdicts on all counts. So what they're waiting for is Samuel Tweah and the rest to exit the courtroom. It is over with. I can hear the gabble. So Samuel Tweah is going to leave the bench. He's been asked, along with Moses Cooper, to leave the other defendants on the bench. So the two of the defendants who were acquitted in keeping with law will exit the court because they have been restored all of their rights. So Samuel Tweah is going to exit the court along with Moses Cooper. The two of them were acquitted on all charges. So you see Samuel Tweah and Moses Cooper exiting the courtroom because they have been acquitted of all charges. So they will walk out of the courtroom, and they've been ordered by the judge to leave the other defendants on the bench. So a retrial for Jefferson Camo on one of the charge. So an order for retrial for Jefferson Camo on one charge. We're trying to get what charge it is. So a retrial for Jefferson Camo on one charge. Samuel Tweah has been acquitted. Moses Cooper has been acquitted. Those two acquitted defendants, or former defendants, if I'm to use the right word, because they are no longer defendants. Their rights have been restored, so they have been acquitted by law. So he's no longer a he's no longer a defendant. He's an acquitted individual now. He and Moses Cooper have been asked by the court to exit and taste their newfound freedom. So economic sabotage, money laundering, retrial for economic sabotage and money laundering, theft of property, the court will decide, we've been told. That's in the case of Jefferson Camo. So former Finance Minister Samuel Tweah and former controller of the FIA, Moses Cooper, have been asked to leave the courtroom. They've been acquitted of all charges. So the judge has said they should leave the other defendants on the bench. So for Stanley Ford, the court has ordered theft and so criminal facilitation, criminal conspiracy. The court orders a retrial for Stanley Ford. So retrial for Stanley Ford. So Samuel Tweah will exit the court along with Moses Cooper. So we are waiting for Samuel Tweah to exit. So the prosecution has accepted that there was a hung verdict for economic sabotage and money laundering retrial for Jefferson Kamor, Stanley Ford. There will be a retrial for theft, economic sabotage, money laundering, criminal facilitation, criminal conspiracy, and so a retrial ordered for Stanley Ford. So the defense has accepted the guilty verdict for Jefferson Kamor. So Samuel Tweah, as I said, and Moses Cooper have been asked to leave the defendants' bench. That is no longer their bench. They have been acquitted according to law, all of their rights restored. We are awaiting those doors to open. So folks, keep watching Spoon TV Live. We're still here at the court, Criminal Court C. We are informed that the judge has asked former defendant, acquitted defendant Samuel Tweah and Moses Cooper, the former controller at the FIA, to leave the defendant's bench. Their rights have been restored. Samuel Tweah and Moses Cooper asked to leave the courtroom. Both of them acquitted. We are awaiting those wooden doors to open. This case has taken the nation by storm for the entirety of its duration, from when the indictment was drawn by the LACC up to tonight. Keep watching Spoon TV. I'm hearing the gavel again being hit. The Montserrado County attorney has thanked members of the jury for their services, but says their conscience will be the judge. So I don't know what he's alluding to, that the juror's conscience will be the judge, whether he's saying that the jurors did something that they shouldn't have done. But the Montserrado County Attorney Scott, has said the jurors will thank them for their services, but said their conscience will be the judge. So now the government doing like what we see you. Yeah, it has left from, we have all of the evidence to what we see you now. The door is opening. 106 and 102 exiting. Two top members of the Liberia National Police you can see exiting. There they are. 106 and 102. They are leaving the court grounds. Heavily guarded by officers of the Liberia National Police, moving in to protect them. There you have, the courtroom door has been opened. You can see folks exiting, and we're waiting for former Finance Minister Samuel Tweah and the rest to get their reactions. Samuel Tweah and the rest exiting. You see, you can hear the cheers. So there you see the courtroom being emptied. Yes, you have all the journalists there.